in HD. ZNS Network presents The Bahamas Tonight. This portion of the news brought to you by BTC Every Day.
Prime Minister the Right Honourable Perry Christie expects swift movement with the Bahamas deal as the country also experiencing some success with several other major resorts. Good evening, everyone. I'm Chris Saunders. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Today in Malta, the Prime Minister addressed an investment forum for the Caribbean where he joined his regional counterparts in giving focus to the uniqueness of our archipelago as a place to invest. Clint Watson tonight tells us about the movement to open the region's largest resort.
With an extension granted by the court until January 2016 on the winding up of Bahamas, government expects that China Exim Bank will have identified a buyer for the resort, which will nullify the court process. Prime Minister the Right Honourable Perry Christie says his optimism is based on what he knows.
And I think we are going to be able to introduce very exciting developments on this particular issue to the people of the Bahamas in the not too distant future. It is very, very important that we still maintain our position that we want the Bahamian subcontractors to be paid. And as far as we are aware, that continues to be the position of China Construction as well, that our Bahamian contractors should be paid. We know that we had 2,000 people laid off. We know there were another 3,000 who were expecting jobs, and therefore we are committed to moving this as quickly as possible.
Airlift for the mega resort will be crucial, and ZNS News can reveal a major interest by an airline company in the property.
One of the possible partners coming forth with Bahamas is a Chinese airline who has an interest in it. And so, look, they've met with us. They said they started with one aircraft. They now have near 500 aircraft. They're a major airline flying into the United States of America daily. And the Minister of Tourism has met with China Air. He had meetings in California with them, and they are committed to doing a one-stop California-Bahamas run.
The new investor for the one and only Ocean Club is now in the country reviewing the improvements. He says some additional good news should be forthcoming regarding Atlantis. Over on San Salvador, Club Med has agreed to upgrade its property following the devastation of Hurricane Joaquin, and government will incentivize this move.
Because we know that we have to be a participant in that regard, and so therefore they have met with us, we have spoken, and we're incentivizing that.
Major new development and investment opportunities also on tap for Abaco and Exuma to the tunes of millions of dollars. Prime Minister Christie told a CHOGM Forum on Caribbean investments that significant infrastructural work is underway throughout the Bahamas to match the investment opportunities, and through a unique public-private sector partnership, government is getting it done without borrowing money. And Prime Minister Christie says while there are a lot of investments coming into the Bahamas, no doubt a lot of this money will leave the country. He says it's important to ensure we get more of it to stay here. And that's through allowing local artists to be involved, local artisans as far as souvenir crafts and other agricultural products to all get a piece of the economic pie. In Malta, Clint Watson, ZNS Network News.
Also from Malta tonight, Foreign Affairs and Immigration Minister the Honourable Fred Mitchell addressed CHOGM's Foreign Ministers meeting yesterday. He informed his Commonwealth colleagues that the Bahamas repatriated nearly 5,000 migrants last year, and the number is close to 4,000 this year, with most of the migrants coming from Haiti. The Foreign Affairs Minister acknowledged the issue the Bahamas faces in the unlawful or irregular migration in numbers that threatens to destabilize this country. He detailed a sophisticated criminal enterprise that accepts up to $5,000 a head, depending on whether the journey is to the United States or to the Bahamas, using not the old-fashioned sloops crowded with people, but now modern vessels. Recognizing that unlawful migration in some cases surpassed the drug trade as a legal and security problem, Minister Mitchell told Commonwealth foreign ministers that unless the underlying issues of poverty and economic underdevelopment are resolved in Haiti, this pattern will continue. 3 years ago, the government created a Trafficking in Persons Task Force to implement policies facing this issue. And today, that task force joined forces with Zonta Clubs of the Bahamas, the Bureau of Women's Affairs, and the United States Embassy to educate the public about the crime, a one-day forum at the Harry Seymour Library at COB. LaDawn Davis tells us tonight that the one-day forum coincides with Women's Week and the Violence Against Women campaign.
Statistics from the Ministry of National Security show this year alone only 3 victims of sexual exploitation have been identified as sex trafficking victims in the Bahamas, and all of them were foreign nationals. 2 of them were brought before the courts, and a third is still under investigation. Immigration Superintendent Stephen Larota is a part of the government's task force.
It's intense. It's a lot of work. It requires a lot of detail. And it's sad that victims of trafficking are being taken down the road that they've been taken. A lot of it is through economic challenges that they may face at home. They come in looking for a better way of life. Supreme Court conviction was the first case that we've ever had in the Bahamas, and that person received a 15-year sentence.
At a one-day gender-based violence forum at the College of the Bahamas, Vice President of the Zontas Club of Nassau, Anne-Marie Bain, says a forum such as this could not have come at a better time as violence against women continue to rise.
This forum is very important because, as you know, the high incidence of violence against women is very prevalent in the Bahamas. And it's only now that we are taking a stand during these 16 days of activism to discuss this issue throughout the community. It's unfortunate that, it's not done on a regular basis, but we want to make the most of this 16 days to bring awareness to this issue in the Bahamas. So we'll be going from the College of the Bahamas to the mall and throughout the community.
Nina Maynard, president of the Zonta Club of New Providence, outlined other activities planned to raise the awareness on violence against women.
On Saturday, we're going to be at Coswright, just outside Coswright at the Town Center Mall, giving out flyers to give people some more information, not only on what domestic violence is or what violence against women are and what gender-based violence is, but also how you can take yourself away from it and to help to make awareness and to make your life a little bit better from that. Also, we're doing some seminars at schools, at the high school level and at the junior high school level during the 16 days of activism.
Meanwhile, officials from both organizations say they are optimistic that creating awareness will make a difference in the lives of all women in this country. LaDawn Davis, ZNS Network News.
In news from the courts, an eyewitness to the homicide of Kurt McCartney testified during trial today. Fern Carey tells us that the witness gave his evidence anonymously by video link.
The witness, identified only as AB by prosecutors in order to protect his identity, testified by video link that he was sitting in his car in the Gambia area back on October 24th of 2013 when he decided to walk over to the last man standing bar. The witness said that as he was about to enter the bar, he saw 2 women, one dark-skinned, the other of a lighter complexion, approach a man. He said the trio started walking towards West Bay Street, but seconds later, the dark-skinned woman started arguing with the man and then turned to signal defendant Thorne Edwards. He told jurors that Edwards came over and pushed the man, who pushed him back. Seconds later, the witness said Edwards pulled out a gun, shot the man in the face, and then ran into the bushes. The witness indicated that Edwards, the 2 women, and defendant O'Kell Farrington, also known as Warren, jumped into a Hummer Jeep with the dark-skinned woman at the wheel and ran over the man before heading to West Bay Street. The trial continues before Senior Justice Stephen Isaacs. Fern Carey, ZNS Network News.